what have each of you had to let go or adapt in order to start and continue the reinvention process?
Let me go first.
Yeah, you go.
About we kind of spoke on this earlier. Not earlier. Last time we on the podcast, and I think it's it's one of the 5 things that I say, and it's like win the battle against your ego. I think that is huge for me, is because the reinvention process and why I do everything I do is not for me. Like I don't live a life a certain way for me. I try to do it to inspire other people. And when I started living my life a certain way, to be a reflection, to show people that, hey, if I can do this, if I can continue to climb a certain ladder that I want to climb, I'm no different from you. So when people see me saying reinvention is a requirement, I'm telling them, like, look, I'm reinventing myself as I'm telling you to, and I'm realizing it's working. So I think you should try. So that was kind of the biggest thing for me. It's like, it's not what Travis wants no more. It's kind of like what this current Travis. What does the future of Travis want? And that's where I think ego is, relies itself, because you have the person you are right now, and you have the person you want to be. And the problem is that there's identity crisis in between. So people struggle with, I am this person, but I want to be this person, but I want to continue to act like this person. That's what identity crisis all is. People don't understand it. It's that simple. You're viewing yourself. You see yourself and you're like, hey, I'm never going to become that person. Yes, because you're not acting as that person. So when I started acting as the person that I wanted to become, and like I said, win the battle against my ego, whatever that may be, all of a sudden I started to see myself take steps forward.
That's a clip. Mic drop. It was it's interesting because, Amber will tell you, we were just talking about this, like literally the same exact thing. So, but you say it in a very different way, which I love. So it's like when you read a book sometimes, and it's like it's speaking your language, but it's saying it in a different way, and you're like, oh, I like this, So that's what everything that comes out of your mouth, I'm like, oh yeah, this shit, he's right on. So it's great. It's great.
For me, it wasn't
Sophia?
like much of an ego thing, more of a fear of embarrassment kind of thing.
Okay. Even as being like a stud athlete.
Yeah.
Right.
Mostly because I was viewed as an athlete, and then I studied business, so she's gonna go ahead and do business, and then I still do business. But when I started posting it, I was like, I don't want people to see me as an influencer, or I don't want to see people see me as this. And then slowly I started seeing like people are gonna talk about you regardless of what you do. So I had people commenting when I would go out, oh my gosh, she parties so much. I stopped partying. She's like, who does she think she is? Like, she doesn't party anymore. She doesn't drink. She's no fun. So slowly it was that, like, letting go of what others think and just do my best, as he said, like what I can inspire to others to do. So
did you find it hard though? Like,
yeah,
for you?
Yeah, it was kind of hard, like, to get in front of a camera, speak. Even this is a little bit hard just because I'm more a behind the scenes kind of person.
Yeah. But it's not easy for him either, believe it or not. He just makes it look easy. So.
Exactly. You guys make it look really easy. But slowly, as I've helped like other people like try and reinvent themselves, especially women, like gain their confidence back, it's helped me more, because I'm like, if I get in front of a camera, if I do stuff like this, I can help more, if that makes sense. So,
and one thing I want to say, like, she kind of spoke on it, but like, I think I can like really dive deeper. And for her, it was big on like, I always tell her, like, to change somebody's life, what she's done for women, like, you can't be in the gray area of trying to make everybody happy. Like, everything that I say on my social media or I may tweet, everybody's not gonna like it, and that's okay. But the people who I'm helping, it's helping them, So people see me every morning like, oh, here's non-negotiables again. There's somebody that's one of my clients that every day is struggling with something, and they're saying, hey, if Travis can continue to do this every single day, I know I can. And that's what I think has helped her so much. It's like, when you realize you start truly helping people, as she started getting her own clients, and she started saying this woman like, yo, you helped me change my life, to change the way I thought, it becomes easier. But in the beginning, I know she struggled with that because there was no proof. I was like, okay, let me see what you can got. Right. And all of a sudden, women start changing their lives, their habits start changing. It makes it easier for you, now to realize, like, you do have to pick a side. And, people don't like to, but once you do, you have the opportunity to change somebody's life.
And that's so true too. Like, it doesn't work until it does.
Exactly.
Like, that's the thing that I think people quit before it starts working. Because at the end of the day, you gotta, like, if you just start to try to be, and for lack of better words, influence or whatever, you try to have influence on others, it might take somebody seeing you 27 times before they're like, oh, she's right, or just even pay attention. Yeah. So the fact, it's that consistent effort of getting that message out there, and then finally all that effort that you're putting in, it works, and people are actually getting impacted by you. And then then you're like, oh, this is working. And then you know, and again, it doesn't make it any easier because this, I think, and Travis, I think you touched on it before, like when you're in this world where everyone thinks that they're doing this and some people are absolutely not qualified at all, it does sometimes keep you from being the person that you should be for everyone out there. And because you're like, man, I don't want to be looked at it, but that's such a stupid frame of mind. Like, and I catch myself doing it sometimes where I'm like, man, is everybody going to think I'm trying to be another Ed Milet and, you know, Hermosi or whatever? But no, I'm just being me. I'm speaking from my truth. I'm speaking from my experiences. So you have to remind yourself of that because it does it's like, oh, here's another guy talking to the camera, you know, it's like, and it just, it keeps going, you know? So I totally get it.
I think something that you said though was big time. It's like, if you speak your truth and your experiences, how could you say what I'm saying is wrong or right? I'm just telling you what I've experienced and what has helped me.
Stuff.
This is my story.
Right.
And I think a lot of times people look at it the wrong way as I'm just telling you what's helped me. Maybe it helped somebody else. So that's why I like what you just said. It's like, I'm just speaking of my experiences, what I've been through, and I know this may be able to help somebody. If somebody has something to say with that, then I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah. And then also too, like, advice is only comes from your experiences. So like if I'm giving you like, for example, if I'm giving you advice on like veterinarian stuff and I had no business doing that, well then you should look at me and be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Which people are out there doing, by the way. But I'm giving advice on health and business and entrepreneurship and stuff that I'm been doing for the last 27 years. So, you know, it's and that's why it's frustrating when you see a 23-year-old having his own podcast and talking about entrepreneurship. It's like let's do something first and then get on a podcast. So, but as you all continue to grow, how do you identify and address areas of stagnation in your own lives?
Yeah, so I feel like a big thing for me is like accountability. Like he holds me very accountable to like posting and stuff like that. And sometimes that helps with like when we're feeling stagnant, we're like kind of bounce off each other and like talk about it. And like he's like, you're actually like kind of like lacking in this area. So kind of like let's pick up, or like we try and see like what else could we work on together.
So you got to give me an example of that, because you know there's a dynamic there. Yeah. Like I can't really see myself giving my wife those kind of advice without creating some. So how do y'all know? And I'm serious. Like give me a little bit of example. Yeah. Because that's tough. Like
I'll give one. I think about like, and this is how I frame everything. Everything we do is not for us. I think that's the best way. The way this business run is not for us. So if you don't want to do X, Y, and Z that can help somebody, you're just hurting us. We have the information. I can continue to do what I do and reinvent myself. But there's people out there that need this information. Right. And I think that's where stagnation can come in the business, or, you know, between us is kind of like if she doesn't want to start, like she stops talking because she just kind of gets out of the way from him. It's like, yo, there's a woman that needs to hear your story. And I think that's kind of what it is. And for me, it comes to stagnation. Like I have to continue. It's not even prove myself to people, but I have to continue to reinvent myself and become a better version so I can continue to show people. If I get to a certain level and I'm like, okay, you know, this is great, this is comfortable here, I'm doing somebody a disservice that may be right under me. It's like, well, maybe this is capped out, or maybe, you know, it's like, no, I have to continue to do this for the next person in line. So I think just taking it from that type of frame is reinvention is a requirement for it's a statement for people, you know, and we have to continue to, you know, share that message and not be so worried about what we may look like or how people may feel, because there's somebody listening to this. Somebody's gonna listen to this podcast. It's stagnant. It's like, how do I get out of this? How do I shake it? And I think that's the biggest thing, is just taking yourself out the frame.
That's very, very true. Very true. I get DMs all the time about like, thank you for continuing to inspire me, you know. And sometimes we forget, like, because this is what we do and this is who we are and who we're becoming. But we don't realize that people don't, you know, just instantly think like we do. So we're showing them the way, and we've been showing them the way for, I mean, since 2010, whenever Instagram started, you know? Yeah. So, yeah.
After all this, like, why do you think it's like that?
I think for me, I'm starting to feel like it's the Insta. It's that people are seeing so much Insta success on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, or what have you. But they don't realize like those are very few and far between Insta success stories. But I think people think that that's what success looks like. And I do believe that people think that this just happened. Like I do think they really believe that this just happened instead of seeing, because people don't see what we're doing behind the scenes. They don't. We try to do YouTube videos and we try to show them, we try to tell them our story, but are they reading it? Do they listen? Are they watching these podcasts? I don't know. So I just think that there's a disconnect between what it takes to become super successful. And for me, like, I still feel like I'm just getting started, and I still have like my purpose is bigger than this. I haven't even begun yet. So if I'm thinking like that, then how is it possible that you're thinking so small? Like it's wild. But all you can do is what I will say is it's never broken my spirit. It's never frustrated me to a point to stop. I just keep saying the same thing. Like my brother and I, we literally say, my brother could be Hermosi, by the way. Like my brother is like, he can sell ketchup popsicle to a woman wearing white gloves. Like he's got that, Andy Elliott, he's got that like thing, And my brother and I talk about, sometimes we feel like it's Groundhog Day. Like we tell people, and our staff and those around our clients, we tell people the same thing every single day, because we know that we're speaking truth, and we know that we're speaking life into them, and we know if it just clicks, and we've seen it. I've worked with people for 6 years, and all of a sudden on the 7th year it clicks, and then all of a sudden they see success, and it's like, yes, they got it. And I don't know why it takes people longer than others. I don't. I wish I knew. And I don't know if it's like the inner child. I don't know if it's past trauma. I don't know if it's blockage, mental blockage. I don't know if it's smarts. I don't know if it's because they're really not doing what you're telling them to do. That's another thing. We have like required reading. We have like new books that I'll be like, hey, y'all have to read this. I don't know if they're really reading it, because now you can type in Chat GPT, like give me the summary of the book, and by the way, everybody out there, we know you're using Chat GPT, okay? Like we're not stupid. There's a certain way that it sounds when you read it. So try to mix it up a little bit, Tries it. Sure. We have like weekly reports, and we're like, oh, that was Chat GPT. Wow. So, it's pretty funny. But yeah, I don't know if I answered your question, but that's
it's just like why, But I think you said it's like, a lot of times you think it just appeared. They think it just appeared, and like literally. And I think the disconnect comes from is you're telling them the same thing over and over again. So it's like, well, you got to give me something else. It's like, no, it is this over and over and over again. That's what it is.
Right.
And I think that's where the disconnect comes from.
Like when I get the very small, very like little DMs, yo, I listened to your podcast, man, love this part or whatever. Like that for us is like, okay, I'm going to keep doing this. Like I'm making an impact. And all it takes is one person. It takes, because most of the time you're getting flooded with DMs of like, how much do you bench press? Or like, stupid stuff like that. But when you get those DMs where it's like where you changed my life, or I've been watching you for years and this, and this, and then it's powerful. Do you have somebody, I mean, you don't have to name them, obviously. You have somebody that was just an incredible transformation. I mean, I'm sure you've had many, but anyone that stands out?
So once I tell him his name is Romello Banks, and we actually played he was actually my backup in college.
Okay,
which is
that's wild.
Yeah, he was actually my backup. He was younger though, so I'll give him that. He was like a freshman, sophomore. I was a senior. But 7 foot. So 7 foot, you don't go play pro. So now you got a job, but you 7. People don't understand what I'm saying right now.
This is not like to knock him at all, but
oh no, it's my man.
Irv used to say, like, if you're 7 feet tall in this world and you can't play in the NBA, then what the hell is wrong with you? That's what he used to say.
Real, man.
Yeah, because it's such a rare thing to be 7 feet tall.
Yeah, so 7 feet, you know what I'm saying? It's like your identity, like we all thought we was going to NFL, NBA, but
Yeah.
if I'm 7 feet, it's over. I'm walking in there.
Exactly.
So when that doesn't happen for you, it's like, yo, who am I, man? Like, I can imagine. People look at me every day like, oh, we walk in grocery store. Who do you play for?
Right, exactly.
Imagine being 7 foot.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was it's big for me because like he was just like, yo, this completely like just transformed my entire life and the way I view myself, the way I look at myself. He started doing public speaking, which you spoke to. It's like
Amazing.
when you're more confident in yourself and you look a certain way, you feel a certain way. You're willing to do some things that the old you wouldn't do, and that's where like he put himself in a position. He put himself in a position to do bigger things in life, and that's what all I want for people is just to look in the mirror and see a different person.
Yeah.
Because if you see a different person in the mirror over 100 days, there were certain things that you had to let go. If you don't let them all go, you're not going to see a completely different person. You're going to look exactly the same. Something has to change, and the way he views himself now is unbelievable, man. It's
self-love.
It's incredible. It's that self-love. He as a man, he said that like I never like I didn't know how to love myself. All my love was based on a female or how she felt about me and things like that. I never truly poured into myself every single day to love myself. Right. And I think that's where I try to encourage people. Like, if you pour into yourself, man, like your whole life will change, and the people around your lives will change as well.
And so the reinvention for me, it correlates so well with No Days Off, and I think that's why we kind of speak the same language. But I want to give y'all an example because I think also too people need to hear this, is that there's a lot of like get rich quick schemes. There's a lot of get fit quick schemes where you can lose 30 pounds in 100 days. You can lose 45, but you're not reinventing yourself. You're only physically losing the weight. And that's what I feel like No Days Off is for people. And that's why we've had kind of the run that we're having, and we're going to continue it. But I had an amazing, I mean, I've had many of these, but this one just really stood out, is that I had a guy come up to me. I was sitting on the couch. This is like 2002 or something like that. This is my early days of being in Miami. I think 2005. Anyways, it's irrelevant. And fat, like just sloppy fat, just gross fat, came up to me. He's like, hey, can you train me? That. And I looked at him and I was like, no, like that. And he was like, what? And I was like, you're not going to do what I'm going to make you do. I go, I can just sell. Like, you're not going to do it. And he goes, man, I promise you, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. I said, all right, well, you have to do everything I tell you to do. So make a long story a little shorter. He did everything, and he lost like 89 pounds or something like that. Totally changed his life. And where he is today, he has 3 Ferraris, beautiful wife, beautiful kids, beautiful family, beautiful, like amazing job. He's still doing it. Like, he's still living it. And he'll shoot me a text like, yo, I'm still, and he'll tell me I'm still doing the things that you told me to do back then. And I say this to say that that's why it works. It works because it's not complicated. You don't need some 15 formulation device thing or spend $100,000 on something or this, that, and another. Like, it is applying simple things every single day and committing to it, and that you will change your life. So reinvention, what y'all are doing with people, it's permanent. This is a permanent change that you're going to keep applying to your life, and you're going to have no days off on you for the rest of your life, so that you can then apply it to your relationship. You can then apply it to your kids. You can then apply it to your friends and your family or whatever. So I like it, just the light bulb went off for me just then, because I literally was hearing y'all talk, and I can see the moment. Yeah. Red hoodie, sweatshirt, sloppy fat, walking up to me and asking me that question. And I just remember being real with him. And to this day, that's why we've remained so close, is because I've always kept it real. Like, I'm gonna tell you the truth, and it's gonna hurt in the beginning, but if you do this, then you're gonna see change. I've been asking this question lately to my guest, and so I'm gonna ask y'all, if there was one thing that you wish people knew about you that you don't think they do, what would it be?
I mean, most of my stuff is I put it in my book. It's kind of, the kind of beginning of it, but like a lot of my reinvention stems from, my past. So my father did life in prison. So that's something that I'm extremely passionate about. Like, I don't have to be this kid who's just like, oh man, like this happened to me. Like no, man, I have a choice to become the man I want to become. 2 was, I talk about, people know this, my college, after college, playing college athletics, lost my identity. And 3 was I had an annulment, and that's also in the book. So I was married for like a month at one point in time because I made a decision off of trying to think I was doing the right thing, and I necessarily wasn't. So what I tell people is that like my reinvention, why I do this is it's not about the body. It's not about any of that. Like we talked about this last time, like I've been on the PJ, I've been depressed. I've done that. I've made money and have not felt like there's still something that's not right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the reinvention is so much deeper in me, and it's so internally. It's like I've been through stuff that I didn't think I was going to climb out of. Like imagine having a wedding. Good thing, it was COVID, so not too many people could come, but imagine having a wedding and then your grandma calls you a month later, like, how's the married life? You're not even married no more.
Right.
Like, I'm never thinking I'm climbing out of that, bro. Like, how do I tell these people that I just made this decision after you've known somebody for 8 months, but you did it because you was moving and there was a religious thing involved where she, I'm not going to move with you unless, we're married. It was kind of that type of situation. It's like, but you still made the decision. You didn't have to do that. So it was like, that was one of my darkest moments of my life, and it wasn't because it was the moment that didn't bother me. It's like, how could you do that to somebody's family? How could you do that? And just like, but what I had to do is I had to forgive myself, one, and I had to create myself a new person. So it's so much easier for me to talk about now because that's not who I am at this moment. So a lot of times people struggle with, talking about certain things because they are still that person. And if we can create that separation and make you somebody else and show you that somebody else, your past is literally going to be your ticket to your success because you can speak on it now. So many people have so many great stories, but they're still that person and they can't speak on it until they remove themselves. So all that stuff is in the book, but those are my biggest thing, why this is so important to me and why it's not about the physical. It's like right here, man, like to look yourself in the mirror and make some mistakes as humans do in general, right, and to overcome them and be able to speak on them. Man, it took me years, man. Like it took me getting a coach to say like, this is gold, bro. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like this, I'm embarrassed. He's like, no, man, like you're trying to reinvent people. You had to reinvent yourself and you didn't even realize it, you know? So it's like, that was huge for me.
I love what you're saying too for people out there, because you're an alpha being vulnerable. And I think that's one of the things that people don't realize that is a beautiful thing about alpha males and the decision that you've made to share your story. But it's interesting how you frame it, is that you're ready now to share your story because you've changed and you're not the person that you were. So keep being vulnerable. It's cool.
Yeah. For me, I've been fortunate enough that both of my parents are still together. We didn't financially have struggles. So sometimes I struggled having people wanting to listen to me because it's like, well, you were blessed, your whole life. You didn't have such struggles per se. So it's more of like, you still have to wake up early and work hard. Like it would be easy for me to say, you know what, I'm not going to work. I'm just going to be a stay-at-home mom or like something like that. So it's like trying to find your own lane, You have to rewire your brain. Even like we always say, like, even though I was financially blessed, I'm still am, thank God. But like I'm still trying to create my own avenue apart from that, because I want to show people like that you can create something different from where you've come from, Like a lot of the times, like it's when you have no choice, you're willing to lose,
right.
More. So in my case, I was fortunate, as I said. So it's more creating your own lane, your own avenue, and saying you don't have to choose what's been chosen for yourself. If that makes sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense. You hear all the time, like, it's just how I was raised.
Exactly.
No, it doesn't have to be that way.
So. But that's why, like, when we had this conversation, but that's why I told her, like, it was a hip replacement, but I was like, no, man, this is your chance. And I told her that, I said, because that's something she struggled with. It was like, well, Travis, like, I didn't have the upbringing you have. So, like, you build all this and, like, you can tell the story of your father, this and that. I'm like, well, I would prefer to be in your situation. Trust me. So when she needed a hip replacement, I said, this is your chance. As much as you like, oh my God, why me? I said, well, you have to have some hardship in your life from somewhere for you to, to be able to speak on and overcome it. So when she had her hip replacement, all of a sudden she's back in the gym working out. She's waking up early. She's still cooking her meal. I said, you're showing people I literally have a fake hip, whatever you want to call it, and I'm still up here. So what is your excuse?
Right.
So I tried to, help her understand this is your story. And she got people to tell like, hey man, I'm about to get a hip replacement. Like I see you had one. Like people started DMing her and I'm like, this is why you have to tell your story. But I think till this day, she doesn't understand how powerful a hip replacement was because
that's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
Major surgery. Like major surgery. And it's not easy to rehab that at all. Like, so the fact that you again, what he's saying is so true. Lean into that because it's powerful. Trust me, it's powerful. And take yourself back there. Yeah. Take yourself back to the doubting yourself and the pain and the struggle and whatever you went through, because people need to hear that. Yeah. People need to hear our struggles and what we've gone through in order for them to listen to us, really, because they're struggling. People struggle out there and in different ways, so.